Hopefully you enjoyed learning about Arizona last time.
Because we're taking you back there again. Welcome to Around the World with Joshua and Alyssa. We're glad that you would join us once again today, and we are going to go and show you some places in Arizona for the next 5 weeks. Now, we have done that before, yes.
But don't worry, there's more.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. So we're going to show you what else there is in Arizona that we haven't shown you before, which is a lot. So today we're going to show you one of the other trails in Sedona that we have not shown you before, because we just went there for the first time this year. So here it is. This is from our missions trip this summer. We went with a group of people on this trail, and this is the trail to the birthing cave is what it is called. So here we are walking along this route, and this one was, how short was this one? Was it 1.5 miles total? Or?
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
Okay, I think we'll see that in a moment, but it wasn't very long. It was less than 1 mile to get there, and so round trip it was less than 2 miles overall. It is not very steep. It's mostly on level ground.
Right at 2 miles.
Is it? Okay. It's mostly on level ground until right near the end, and you have to climb up, I don't know. It's a little bit, but it's not straight up. So it's just a little bit of a steeper hike right near the end, and there's the birthing cave right up there. And from this picture it's like, oh, nice. But then when you get up closer and inside it, like we are here, it is pretty big. I actually didn't even have the right lens with me to get a picture of the whole thing, so I can't show you anything except this one from a distance. So yeah, that was really cool. This was Jaden's first hike in Sedona, and so here's a picture of little baby Jaden, who was just birthed a couple months earlier, sitting now in the birthing cave. And the view from there is also pretty cool because you look out and you just see pretty far, several miles off in the distance. But Alyssa is going to tell us how you find the birthing cave.
Yeah. So one of the best things that we found for doing traveling and hikes is this app called All Trails. It's the green one on the right there. And it is so helpful for finding places to go. And when we were looking at pictures of the birthing cave, we saw like, whoa, they look so amazing and so beautiful. But a lot of people kept saying, oh, it's really hard to get there. So we found on this app that you can search for whatever hike you'd like to go to, and sometimes they'll even clump them by area. So you could search Sedona and it'll show you all these different hikes, and then it tells you right there, this one is a moderate hike and people gave it 4.5 stars, and it's about 2 miles long, takes you about 50 minutes. But it's really handy because as you're hiking, you can have this map open at all times so you can see where you're at on the trail. And it even works if you don't have phone service because it goes off of GPS, which is really handy because sometimes when you're out hiking somewhere, you might not have service. So you can watch yourself on the little dot and make sure that you're lining up with where you need to be on the trail, and that way you make the correct turnoff wherever you need to go to get to a really cool view and make sure you actually get there. And it's really handy because we talked to people, I think even on that hike, we talked to somebody who was like, oh, I couldn't find it. No, it was the next one we went on, that long one.
It wasn't this one.
But some people have struggled to find some of the different views just by hiking them, because unless you go with someone who's been there before, you might miss something, and sometimes it looks like trails split off one way or the other. So this app has been like our best friend in doing hiking stuff. So if you ever go somewhere and you want to do a hike, or you're like, well, I don't know what's in the area to hike, you can download that app, and then you can look and see all the different hike options that there are. You can see other people's pictures on there, which is cool. It'll even tell you the weather for the day that you're going, all sorts of handy stuff.
And you can record your own hike there so that other people can look at your hike and see, based on your comments, how long it took you or what you thought about it. So
And then it's
Yeah.
nice too, because then we have them all saved. So we have like different groups of like, these are the hikes we'd like to go to, and then the hikes that we've done, so we can see them and tell other people about them.
Mm-hmm. And how much does the app cost?
Free.
Yeah, that's really
Our
one of the
favorite
big
part.
things for us when we look at apps. So this is a good one.
Yeah, we really like this one. I started using it on Guam, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and wish I would have gotten into it even earlier, so I could have gone on more hikes out there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, so next week we'll show you another hike in Sedona.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to come back for that.
Yep, and I have a brand new story, brand new to me, and brand new to you guys, obviously.
Mhm.
And it's called, well, here's the cover. It looks like it's separated from the rest of the book. It's called No Darkness at All, and it's a story from North Africa. So it's a really cool story. I haven't even finished reading it, so I have to find out what's going to happen. But it's from the country of Morocco, and I have this map here in the back of my book, my very old book here that's falling apart. So here is the continent of Africa, and our story takes place here in Morocco, on the northern coast of Africa. So a lot of places in Africa, Morocco included, have a lot of Muslim influence. So that means they have a lot of people who worship a god that they named Allah, and this god has a prophet, Muhammad, and they believe whatever this prophet said and whatever he wrote down in his book, the Quran. So these people in Morocco are Muslims, and that's what they believe. And they, every day, 5 times a day, they take time to pray to Allah, and they have these special prayers that they say, and they think if they do all these right things, that they'll be able to go to a paradise someday, and that will be the place where they will live. But there are a lot more details with understanding what Muslims believe and about Allah, Muhammad, and all of that. But it's very prevalent in this area of Africa, and that is something really important for us to know about the story. Now, when these people pray to Allah, they always say there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet. And it's always repeated. That's always something they say in their prayers. And they don't just make up their prayers, whatever they're thinking to say to God. They have to say these special words in a special order, in a certain way. And if you were to live in one of these countries, you would hear a big announcer making a sound over the whole city, so then all the people in the city remember that this is a time to pray and to say their prayers. So the same thing goes for the people in our story. So our story is about this little boy. His name is Hamid. And Hamid lived in the country of Morocco, and he was 11 years old at the start of our story. So Hamid was out in the field, and he was watching over the goats for his family. This was his job. He was supposed to be out there and take care of them. And as he sat and looked at them, he thought, man, they just look like they're having such a nice life. They can just hop around and just enjoy their time. And he thought they looked really happy and pleased. But inside, he thought he wished his life was happy like some of their lives. He was sad because his father had died and his mother had remarried another man, and this man didn't really like Hamid and his sister, Kinza. And this man also had another wife, an older wife, and that wife really didn't like him and his sister. And he thought it was maybe she was just angry because she didn't have any children. Now that's also something that's really common about the Muslim people, is that the men can have more than one wife, and it causes a lot of problems in their families because there's a lot of confusion. And the same thing was here for Hamid. And Hamid was sad because his stepfather wasn't very kind to him and his mother, and especially not kind to his little sister, Kinza. And his mother always seemed to be trying to protect her and make sure that she didn't see his stepfather very often, and always seemed to be caring for her a lot. Well, a couple of the goats kind of jumped away, and Hamid realized he needed to go after them. So he picked up his stick and he started walking across the hillside to try to bring them back to where they needed to be with the rest of the goats. And as he was going over there, he saw in the distance another boy from his village running toward him. And he thought, wow, this boy must have some news because he's running so fast. It seems like his clothes can barely keep up with him. And this boy's clothes were very worn out. He didn't have a lot of money, and he was just another boy from the village where Hamid lived. Well, finally, the boy got to Hamid and was breathing hard, and Hamid said, "Is something wrong? Is somebody hurt?" And the boy said, "No, but your mother sent me because she wants me to watch the goats for you, and you're supposed to meet her over that direction." So Hamid passed off his little stick to help take care of the goats, and he started walking the direction he was supposed to go to meet up with his mother. Well, he finally met her over by some bushes, and his mother had his little sister and 2 empty buckets, and she said, "I want you to take these buckets and put them in the bushes over there. Now we have to hurry. I told the other wife, the older wife, that I was going for water, but I'll get the water in a little bit and we'll come back." And so they hid the buckets off in the bushes, and Hamid's mother said, "Well, I want you to look at your little sister." And she laid his little sister down, and she said, "I want you to take some flowers and just try to get her to look at them and to smile at you." Hamid got some flowers, and he tried to get in her face and to smile at her, and he realized she wasn't looking at him or looking at anything he put in front of her. Then his heart sank deep inside of him. "Is she blind?" he asked his mother. His mother nodded. "She is. So that's why I've come today. We need to go up to a cave where is one of the saints' tombs, and we can go there and we can pray and ask that they will heal her eyes so that she can see again." So Hamid went with his mom and his little sister, and they walked up to this tomb kind of cave thing, and as they got closer, there were bushes outside, and the bushes all had little tiny pieces of paper on them. And the papers were all prayers from the people who had brought children or who had brought people there who had illnesses or sicknesses, and they had written them down on these little papers and put them outside the tomb in hopes that their family member would be healed. So they got there, and his mother put his little sister on the ground, and she began to pray, and she asked that Allah would heal her and that she would be better and she'd be able to see again. And so after she finished her prayer, she got over really close and she looked at her in the eyes and waved her hand in front of her face, but Kinza didn't respond. She was still blind. Hamid went back with his mom, and he was disappointed. Maybe the God didn't hear, and why did Allah not want her to be able to see? Maybe Allah didn't really care about little girls and being able to see and to live in darkness. She would never get to see the light, ever. She would never get to see the flowers or his mother's face or even his face. What was going to happen to her? You're going to have to come back next time to find out.
Oh, man. It's just getting started.
I know.
Okay. All right. Well, would you like to tell us about our missionary family for today?
I'm going to tell you today about the Devart family, and it's been a long time since we shared an update about them. And they are living in the country of France. So Phil and Helene Devart and their children, I think we've got a picture of them all together here in a cute cafe. Callan and Hudson and Lenora. I was trying to remember her name.
That's close.
I do know her name. I just had to think about it. I have never actually met Lenora. I met Hudson and Callan, but Lenora was born after they moved away. So I asked them some questions about their time in France and some different things. And she said that they just finished up a conference with some other missionaries from their mission board, BMW, and it was a really great week with their coworkers, and they were so excited to spend time in God's Word and hear blessings from other people who are working in different parts of France, and they got to hear how that's going, and then they got to share burdens with each other and pray for each other. And they've been reminded that God's plans aren't always our plans, and that they're there to serve Him and not necessarily follow their own plan that they think will work out. So she said currently the world economics make the dollar almost as equal to the euro, which is a really great benefit for them. But sometimes for every dollar that they get in, like for their support, they only get 85 cents worth of exchange. So it's rough when that happens. It fluctuates all the time, so that makes it a little bit difficult for them to be financially stable with their support. And in summer of 2023, there's a church that's going to be taking away their support because they're redoing their program. So that's a little bit of something to know that they'll need to fix that to raise the rest of their support by the end of that summer. Just a couple of weeks ago, all the restrictions in France were finally lifted. She said there's some rumors that some restrictions will have to come back in the fall for COVID, but they'll have to see. The only current effect is divided opinions on how they should return. But she sent us a little video here of Paris that we'll play for you guys to see. You can recognize that famous site.
Maybe.
I would hope so.
It's really cool that it's sparkling. Did you say what this was from, or?
No, I think it does that every night.
Does
They
it
do
really?
like a light show, quote unquote, on it every night.
I wouldn't know.
Yep. I asked about the kids and their school, and she said when she sent this, which was a week or so ago, that they just had a couple weeks left of their summer break. So next year, Callan will start middle school, and that's a big jump from elementary school, and he's going to join a bilingual program, so he's going to add German to his workload. So probably it's a French classroom, I would guess, so he's going to be doing French and German, and he speaks English at home. Hudson's going to move to the next year in elementary, and it'll be his first time going to school alone, so we can pray for him to trust God and be brave, because he'd rather have his big brother, Callan, there, too. And Lenore starts preschool this year. She's really excited to go, but she'll also miss her mom and dad. It's the law in France that she has to begin her first school year after she turns 3. That's really little.
Wow.
And Helene said she and Phil are working on their French. They're going to start up with tutoring again once the kids are back in school. And they've been working with the young adults, and this fall they're going to be studying the importance of baptism, because quite a few of them are not baptized yet. They also sent us a video here of them, I think at public transportation it looks like. Getting ready to go on some public transportation.
Oh, like walking to a bus stop or something?
Yeah, or it kind of looks like a train, like that almost looks like tracks.
Oh, yeah, I see.
To the right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she said, thank you for praying for us and for our family. They're in year 3 of being in France, and they're really happy to be settled. Once the school year starts up, they're hoping to continue to build relationships that they started last year. And their town is pretty quiet now, because most of the people go away for the month of August, maybe like before school. So I asked about food in the area too, because we always love to learn about food, and she sent some really nice pictures here of the grocery store and some beautiful lettuce.
Mm-hmm.
And lovely sandwiches.
So you just buy the sandwiches pre-made, like
Yes.
going to Subway, but it's already made
But
for
the
you.
bread is probably way better than Subway.
Well, yes. I wasn't going off that, but yeah, probably way better. And some of the other stuff might actually be fresher too, actually.
It's probably true. And I think this is a bakery video too.
That was like
So many tasty goodies. Yummy. Oh yeah.
Whatever that is, it looks really good.
I'm sure it's amazing. It looks like such a cute little cafe. They're like right on the road there. Cool.
And tasty desserts.
Yeah.
Look at that ice cream.
It's so fancy. It looks like a unicorn, the one that Lenore has in the front. So this is the Devart family. We can be praying for them with their support level, and then as the kids get back to school and as Lenore starts school for the first time, and for Phil and Helene as they work on developing their French skills some more. So that's our little update about the Devarts, and you'll have to come back next time
to find out about some more stuff. I didn't know where you were going with that, but hope you have a great week, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.